welcome to our new global media talk show. Today, we're gonna be discussing autistic and kids with disability. We have our guest here, Marre Jallow. Marre, welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Is the
Mr. Sawaneh.
Yeah, is the principal. You are the principal. What is your title again?
Yes, I'm the school principal of I Promise.
Rehab center. So Marre is
Yes.
a school principal of I Promise Rehab Center. So he's gonna talk us through the autistic and the kids with disability. I have my co-host Sam Ceesay in Indiana, United States. Sam, welcome. And I have my other co-host Ousman Camara. Ousman from the Gambia, welcome.
Thank you so
And
very much,
I
Mr.
always
Sawaneh.
have to put the Gambia, the article there. Otherwise, he corrects me on that.
Okay.
No, no problem. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So, Murray, we're going right into this before Usman. Before Famara join us. But can you just explain to us the entire overview of this particular sickness? Because this is everywhere in the world. I mean, even in the United States here, we have autistic, children, and
Mhm.
the way to go and manage them. So, if you can give us an overview about the sickness, and so we can come to the diagnostic the different kind of sicknesses, because I've been reading through. I see there are different autistics, and then how
Mhm.
to care for them, and how to find solution for this kind of sickness. So you have the
Thank
floor
you,
now.
Miss. Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Uh, I am Mari Jallo. I'm the school principal of I Promise Rehab, Learning, and Care Services. The school is located in Pursubi Phase 1. It was founded in 2024 by Doreen Secker, who is an educational therapist from the United States. When Doreen visited the Gambia 4 years back, she realized that there was a need to establish a center so that she will be able to bring her expertise and help kids that are having these kinds of issues in the Gambia, and the parents do not know where and how to care for these particular kids. So she started at the Vibes Fitness Gym, where she was having just 6 kids that she was seeing on one-to-one session. But
Wow.
then the demand of the parent was that she had to establish a school because there were so many kids out there who are suffering from this, and they have not been accepted in schools because they could not function very well in mainstream schools in the Gambia. And we do not have so many people that are trained in this particular area. So that is how she established the school and started with 6 kids. And today we are just under 50.
Perfect.
So I joined the school this year in January. I personally met her 2 years ago through another school program that I was doing as a founder and the president of the Book Association in the Gambia. And then she contacted me that she needed someone to help manage the place. And then I was more than happy to join this since I know it was for a good cause.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So before we go any further, autistic. What are the signs of autistic person, and what is the what is the um what is how can you describe how the disease is, so that when somebody sees someone, they can know that this person is an autistic person.
Yeah, autism comes in different methods. It comes in different ways. Now, we have kids that have speech delay. We have kids that are affected by noise. We have kids that struggles maybe to walk. We have kids that sometimes, usually they have issues stacking. So it comes in different ways. And once the diagnoses are carried out, then It is usually done by experts. Unfortunately, diagnoses are not done in the Gambia, but they are done in Senegal. So once we have cerebral palsy, we have Down syndrome. Those are some of the most common ones we have in the Gambia.
Okay, so that means the diagnostic, anything that has to do with delay, you can call that autistic. Am I correct? Delay in walking, delay
Uh,
in
not any-
yeah, because the reason,
not everything that has to do with delay in walking is autism, but most of it is. No. Mhm.
because the reason why I'm saying that, before this whole idea of
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
autism awareness came into play, I have, when I was growing up, I've seen family, extended family members who had delayed, in other aspect of things, but they caught up with it, and today you would not believe that
Mhm.
they are who they are. If you tell some of those people that they will be able to talk, some of them are doing, they repeat words like Bibi, like, if you tell those people today, they will be able to even sing, and even do certain things. You will be surprised, but learning through it, look like the problem get resolved by itself later on in life.
Mhm.
So I just want to know, um those time that this autism and other things were not been on the surface, things get resolved by itself. Those kind of sicknesses, as time goes on, the child managed to pick up, because I've seen, like I said, I grew up with some people who were like that, and then they end up become full, person in that, with all the functionality of those things they were been delayed for. So that's why I'm asking you whether this is a diagnosis that happened when you're delayed with certain things like speech, or even your maturity, or certain you are behaving certain way, maturedly. You could be also called you have an autism. So I just want to know, like, how is different in the past, that the situation was resolved by itself, and now that we have to go through a medical or clinical, you know, diagnosis, and then perhaps medicines or so forth, to get it cured or resolved. Yeah.
So, thank you. So, generally, not every delay is related to autism. Delays sometimes could be caused by other natural causes. Sometimes maybe maybe the child lacks confidence in walking or lack confidence in talking. And eventually or gradually as they grow up, these things comes up or comes out of them naturally. So not everything delayed is related to autism, but the most important thing is once a diagnosis is carried out, then definitely identification can be made and then a proper guidance can be followed. We have kids that join us, and when they join us, they were not able to say a single word. But after a few time with us, or after a year or so, they start saying words. They start, the words start coming out slowly from them. So definitely, it's not everything delayed. We have kids that came and they couldn't walk, and after a while, we have the most recent one, a student of ours. When he comes, he wasn't able to walk at all. But early last month, the father sent us a video of him walking for the first time without any support. So sometimes the right therapeutical methodology had to be carried out for that individual to be able to know the functionality of the parts of their body.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, I will let Sam and Usman come in, because I have more question on this
Thank
and
you.
more observation. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yep,
Mr. Sita.
Mr. Jallow, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you. This is a unique topic that I don't think we've ever discussed here. We've never had anything like this here. As far as I can remember, I may be wrong, but also never had
Thank you.
someone here representing such people with disabilities. From my understanding, autism is
Mhm.
full in America. It's all over in America. You go
Yeah.
to every school, there are children that need, we call them special help needs children. So autism, from my understanding, usually is not a disease and it's not an illness. It's a brain function of how that
That's
impacts
right.
people, how people think, feel, and communicate with each other and with people. So, with that being said, I want to ask you, how are you dealing with, or what are your challenges dealing with such people, such children at your school?
The challenges are very high,
Okay,
but we have a belief and we have an ambition, and we all want to do we want to impact the life of these kids that in society, usually we feel like they do not belong. And in reality, they belong and they are part and parcel of us and are entitled to every right that every one of us are entitled to.
yeah,
Now, it is not easy, but luckily we have a trained staff. We have a well trained staff, and we have like four teachers in a classroom. We have 16 kids, maximum of 16 kids in a classroom. So we have a ratio of 1:4 in every class. And then
good.
slowly we have been integrating some of them and helping them understand themselves better. And once they understand the fundamental skills, then it becomes much, much easier to, to transition with them to the stage where we want them to be. So it is not usually an easy task, but then we had been having successful stories, and so far we are doing very well with them.
Very good. Very good answer. So, again, knowing that this is not a disease, is not an illness, is a neurodevelopmental disability. So, it is a disability, just like people with
That-
disabilities. That's
That's
how they
right.
are treated in America, as disabilities. They are normal human beings. Some can be normal human beings that just have a disability with their brain to think and feel and communicate with people. So, so do you teach them all the normal school projects like English, math, science, and all of that stuff? Do you have a curriculum that teaches them all of this? Because slowly but surely they can get there.
Uh, First, we look at their developmental stages. We
Good.
understand that these kids cannot be treated like just
The same.
how
Yes.
kids are treated in mainstream schools. We have
Correct.
to understand basic things like how to take up their shoe, how to undress, how to feed themselves, how to
Yep.
sit down and focus on doing things, these kinds of things, how to use the restroom. Because we
Yep.
have kids that are almost 10 years or more and they're still on diapers, because they
Okay.
cannot say, I want to use the restroom, or they didn't know how to go and use the restroom. So these are
Okay.
the things we start with. Once we see the child is developing and now the brain and the mind is ready to accept academics, we
Good.
transition them into academics. So we look
Good.
at their developmental stages.
Awesome. Wonderful. That's a great start. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'll pass it on to Usman.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Sam Ceesay, and thank you so very much, Mr. Sawaneh. Marre once again, welcome to this platform. Straight to my question, Marre, the issue of the school and then the kids that you registered or enrolled. Let's look at the enrollment base. What are the criteria? Do you allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry to be enrolled, or do you have a criteria that you basically follow as far as the enrollment is concerned? I understand that this is a new system in the Gambia. I know in other part of the world, like for example in the United States, it's quite a very prominent or popular whole thing. Well, in the Gambia, as you suggested, it started not so long ago. How do you do the enrollment? How easy it is with you guys?
Thank you, Mr. Camara. First, we do not reject these kids regardless of what kind of abilities or disabilities they have. Now, we understand that some of these kids started in mainstream schools and they were sent away from mainstream school because the teachers struggle to handle the kids in the classroom. The kids struggle to focus in the classroom. Now, what we do is when a parent contacts us about their child, the first question we ask is, has the child been diagnosed of anything yet? Now, because of the fact that we do not have any diagnosis center in the Gambia, so sometimes the answer is usually no. So we ask the parent to come to the school and we do a consultation with the parent. We looked at the child, we have our specialized tools that have been imported into the country from the United States. Now we looked at the child's ability. You know, we have a consultation with the parents. We ask questions, understand the child behavior at home, understands what the child is struggling with, and then we pick it up from there. So far, we have never sent any child away because of their abilities or their inabilities. We accept them. If they have a diagnosis, it helps us. It helps us work with them better. If they do not have a diagnosis, example, the child has speech delay, for instance, or the child maybe is struggling to focus, then we have these sessions with them. We start with them in a center or in a room, in our therapy room, and help them one-on-one sometimes, pull them out of classroom, and make sure they understand things. So slowly they develop. So we have kids that have never been to school, 10-year-old, they have never been to school. And when they come first with their parents, they cannot even sit in the classroom. They don't even want to enter the classroom. But these are kids that now, when the parents come to pick them up after school, they cry because they don't want to leave the school. Because we have created an environment for them where they feel loved. We do not beat them, we do not yell at them, we pamper them with love and understands them, and this has helped us in the enrollment process.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I don't know whether your background appears to be a bit dark.
Yes, sorry,
Perhaps
I'll take care of
it is.
it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. That's fine now. It's very
Alex is
bright. I
nice.
think the viewers would like to see you properly. Now you are good. You are good
Very good,
now.
Usman.
Yeah.
Usman, do you have any other?
Yes. A few. One more.
Yeah, Usman, do you
Mari.
have any other?
Yes, of one question before I will hand over to you, Mr. Sawan. Mari, the issue of the diagnose. You suggested that the issue of the diagnose. First, you ask the parents whether the child has been diagnosed before the enrollment. So I want to confirm something from you. That is the issue. Do you um, officially accept those that been diagnosed, all right, perhaps from Senegal, because you said the diagnosis are done in Senegal or other part of the world, perhaps.
Mhm.
If, for example, a child has not been diagnosed, do you people do? Or that's what I think. That's what you told you just earlier answered. But do you think that process could be comprehensively accurate in terms of your results if it has not been diagnosed from the hospital?
Now, or if the child is not diagnosed from the hospital, we have a consultation with the child. We invite the parents. That's the first thing we do. Our doors are open to all the parents. We said, come to the school and come with your child. And when they come with the child, then we have our list of questions that we ask that makes us that will help us understand the situation better. We have a list of questions. We had a document that we have a list of questions that will help us understand the condition of the child. This way, we don't call the parent when they go home and said, is the child doing this or can the child feed? So we understand if the child can feed themselves. If the child want to use the restroom, what do they do? Do they speak? Do they make a sound? Or do they just sit tight? You understand? All of them behave differently. Some of them, when they want to use the restroom, they will just sit down and put their legs together. So if you don't understand the child, then you suffocate the child. So that is why that consultation is very paramount in the process that we do. We go through those questions with the parent and we understand the child, and that help us to help the child develop into somebody that fits in the society better.
All right, thank you. I will come back to you, Mari. Over to you, Sawaneh.
Very good. Thank you, Usman. Thank you, Sam Ceesay, for definitely asking those questions. This is a very, 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 very important topic. Um, and then also related to younger people. But I just want to say this. Is there are situations where you could wrongly diagnose a child based on those cues that you discussed and you had with the parent? Has there been situations like that?
No, because we do not give any diagnose. We do not diagnose the child medically. We do not do that. But we have situation in the other way around where a parent is told that your child is autistic, but because of the love and the lack of acceptance, sometimes because of the situation, the parents say no. We have issues where, let's say, the father will say, no, my child is not autistic, and the mother will insist that they're autistic. And there's usually that patient will let's take the child and know. Then after a while, the parents will contact us back. You understand? The symptoms become more clear, the signs becomes more clear, and they come to agree or realize that yes, our child needs an additional support to be able to understand this. So it has been the other way around. We have not given a diagnosis, but so far everything had been very good. There have always been a massive progress made in the life of kids, and we have a lot of testimonies from the parents that tells us that gives us a positive feedback about what we are doing.
Perfect, perfect. Now, in terms of mental health, and then the this experience, knowing that a child came to a facility as young as they are, and then they definitely will understand they are different, because looking around, even though they are delayed in other aspect, but if you see yourself in a situation like that, you will be like, why am I here? Why am I not in the normal classroom? Especially if they had been in the normal classroom for the, before. So mentally, there will be some mental health challenge, and of course, stressed as well. Because I'm very much focused on, even with my dissertation, on mental health and the stress on at an adult level. But even as young people, you will notice that human being has a lot of things going on in the brain, and especially in a situation that is very different from home, very different from classroom. How do you guys manage with the mental health situation? How do you guys manage with the mental health of these children, while diagnosing them with autistic? Can you hear me? Can you hear us? Marre, something went wrong. Ousman, is it me?
No, I can hear you.
Not you, it's him. I think, Mari, are you with us now, please?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes.
now
You actually missed the last question from Mr. Sawaneh. Can Mr. Sawaneh please? Can we
yes,
have that again?
yes. So what I'm saying is that mental health and stress, these kids
Mm-hmm.
are coming from different environment, and now they see themselves, and perhaps they will notice that they probably are similar. They have similar or common issues, or perhaps some common abnormality, because human being is very complex. In as
That's
much
right.
as they are delayed, they will notice that something is happening here. How did that stress and that mental challenges that they're gonna go through, do you have anything in place to kind of assist this kid besides treating them
Yeah.
as an autistic?
I understand your question is about the psychological impact that this can have on some of the kids. Now, we see students that are in mainstream schools, but they behave differently. Their parents do not want to remove them from mainstream school, and then we have a staff member who used to go and see these students in their various schools and have a one-on-one session with them. Usually, the student will be pulled out of the classroom, and then there will be a space created for this for our staff to help the child. Or sometimes our staff will even go to the classroom and observe the behavior of this child to know what the child needs to be helped with. Now, we have created the school in a way that the kids love the place. Everybody can love the place. Everyone who visit the place love the place. We have created a playground. We have a therapy room. We have a calming room where when the kids are having a meltdown, they're crying or they're angry or they're shouting, you take them to the calming room, and they're able to relax. We have the room set up in a professional way. There are lights that help them calm down. So we have created an environment where these kids do not feel the differences, because we do not treat them the way they are treated at home. We do not treat them the way they are treated on the street. We treat them differently. So that has been one of the reason why they love to come to the school. Some of them struggle to leave the school when it is closing time, because they still want to be around. Sometimes they cry and they don't want to go. We have instances where we plead with the parent, okay, you know, let the child stay for a few more minutes and stuff like that, just so that they feel like we're not pushing them away. We have them that some of them have never been to school. We have this girl who joined us, and the first day when she went back home, the parent called because the staff were able to braid her hair, and that was the first time she had ever been braided, because she have never allowed anyone at home to touch her head. But the mom called and say, "How were you able to braid her hair?" So we have professionals in these areas, and they know how to handle the kids. And there is not a single time that they feel like I shouldn't be here. On the contrary, the moment their driver is there to drop them or their parents, they run themselves to the classroom. So this has been one of the tools we have used so that they feel like we belong, and we love this place. So we haven't had any issues where it has been affecting them psychologically.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let Sam come in. But before Sam come in, one thing that I want to explain. I mean, explain here, which is I've been to my kids' school, okay, and then at some time I volunteer to go and assist the teachers. So I have seen different kids, in different mood. Right? There's this one kid. He is super intelligent, but would never
Mhm.
allow other students to focus. He would my son was there, and he's just very distractive. So this guy was sit in the front and he's super intelligent. He got everything. But he will be playing. He will be doing noise to kind of get other students off balance. And then my son has fallen into this game, and I had to go there and watch it myself. And the teacher, for some reason, in the US here, you can't even scream certain point. You can't do certain things.
That's
So
right.
the kids will just be put at the corner, and even if you put them at the corner, he'll be saying some words that would trigger other kids. So I went and saw it myself just to know that this kid is it's not like he's the smartest, one of the smartest in the class.
In the
But
classroom.
again, his behavior is not fitting. So I don't know, something like that. You can even diagnose that as autistic or not. And then there's another kid. I went to my other kids' school. I was there, and then this kid is sweeping the floor. I said, "Wait a minute, we, people are sitting down." I told the teacher. He said, "No, no, 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 you can't say anything." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because he's a special child." So it's a special child. You have to leave him to do whatever. If he wanna just be jumping jacking in the classroom, he has to do that because he's a special child, so
That's
protected
right.
child. So I don't know how that fit in the Gambia, or a child like that. Would you would you be open to looking into those kind of children and trying to diagnose them, or what would you do in those kind of cases?
Yes, we sometimes, for instance, when a parent comes with a child for the first time in the school, the
Mhm.
parents are worried, because the child is touching everything. And the parents start shouting, you say, no, leave them, leave him alone, or leave her alone. They will jump there, they will stand on the sofa, they will try to touch the TV remote, they will go to the toys and things like that. And sometimes I'll just call a staff and I'll say, come, take him or take her to a therapy room. And they'll bring down some of the toys, that need to be fixed, like puzzles and stuff like that. And then that will help the child refocus. Now, I do not know to what effect that is related to, but sometimes if a child have too much confidence and they believe, because you just mentioned that he is the smartest child in the classroom. So if you feel you're the smartest and then you are not put to through a test that that will make you work hard, You understand? And maybe you undermine or you're underrating the level of academic you're going. That could definitely make the child lose focus. But we have cases where children cannot focus. That is why we have four teachers seated in a table. And when the child loses focus, the teacher tries to refocus the child back. So slowly, sometimes, gradually, they develop that mind that even if they throw their face away, before the teacher say, "Put your face back," look, they're already back because they're trying to remember. So we have deal with kids like that, and we have helped them focus. We have kids that cannot even sit in the classroom before. They don't want to sit in the classroom. But gradually, we're able to refocus their mind back into things that they are doing in the classroom. And they are not always burdened by academics. So they are doing things that are fun and they want to take part in the activities. They want to be part of the activities. So we create activities for them, different activities the entire day that makes every child to be involved in what is being done in the classroom.
Wow, very good, very good. I would like Sam to comment because this is interesting. Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Thank you, Ousman, for your questions as well. So, Mr. Jallow, you're definitely responding very well and giving a
Thank
lot more
you.
details in this area. And definitely, we definitely appreciate you. So, I want
Thank
to
you.
think outside of the box, and let's think outside of the classroom right now.
Uh-huh.
Where what you do for these kids is tremendous. It's very, very, very important because it's their life. It's they are people. They're normal. I mean, people with autism can live a long life. They can live their lives.
That's
However,
right.
it's just the brain function of their abilities to do certain things. So um,
Uh-huh.
and the reason I want to think outside of the box is if I think about Gambia, I will not necessarily say every village has someone like this, but I would say if we travel Gambia, um,
Uh-huh.
maybe every two or three villages have a child in there that has something similar, that has this kind of disability, and they are
Uh-huh.
not aware of your school at all. They may not be aware of your school.
That's
So
right.
do you guys have plans to be on television and talk to parents and basically talk about this so that people, and not only television, but radio, television, and newspapers, so people can be
Uh-huh.
aware of you? Because I guarantee you, if you travel in the Gambia to different villages, you're going to
Uh-huh.
see these children with this disability in a lot of villages, but they are not treated well. They are mistreated. They have been maltreated by their parents because parents, for the most part, don't know. They don't know that's their only child that behaves that way. So before they even
Uh-huh.
realize it's a disability, they use force on these children and they will beat them, they will smack them, they will do things to them without
That's right.
realizing this is a disability. It's not that the child is deliberately doing things like that. It's a disability. Before they
Uh-huh.
come to that realization to know that this is a disability and needs certain attention, special attention as well, and
Uh-huh.
there is a special school that handles children like this. I think getting on television, having a program. If you tell your founder, getting a program on television where you can talk about this, I guarantee
Uh-huh.
you will see people will start to come out and approach you.
Uh-huh.
Not only good for the people, but good for you too, because your school is going to expand, which means
Uh-huh.
you're going to have more children there, which also means you're going to have more teachers there as well that will be employed to work there to help these children across, all over the country, not just in there. And at some
Uh-huh.
point, you may even expand and go over to other parts of the country and open this kind of schools in certain areas where you have more of this in certain regions. But uh,
Uh-huh.
I guess my question to you is, are you guys doing anything to think outside of the box, to think about you're in Bursby right now? I mean, if you go to Bakau, there's a child there with a disability. If you go to Brikama, there's a child there with disabilities. If you go to Jarasoma, if you go to Banjul, you'll find children like this. So are you guys doing anything to to make people aware of you, basically to let people know that, hey, there is a school for these children, bring them to our school? we will take care of them. We have teachers, of course, you're going to have teachers that have patience. You have to have teachers that have a lot of patience that can deal with these people. You cannot have a short-tempered person there teaching these people because it's
That's
not going to
right.
work. See what I mean? It's not going to work. So, do you guys have any way of recruiting to get more people into this? Because the more people, the more children you can help, the better for the country.
Yes, thank you so much, Sam, for the question. Yes, we have been conducting interviews. We just recently concluded our awareness conference that took place at the Benjamin Hall. This was the second time we have done it in a year, in the past 2 years. We did a solidarity march from the Senegambia roundabout towards the Benjamin Hall.
Okay.
We invited media houses and we invited parents and people in the community to come so they can understand this. We played video testimonies of parents whose kids were struggling in the beginning and have transformed into, a very even
Better
more
life.
loving things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
So these are things we have done. The founder, Doreen, had also conducted multiple interviews. We have a Facebook page, we have a TikTok page, we have a an Instagram page where we
Good.
share informations about the school. And so many times we get calls and informations, calls from parents making inquiries, trying to bring their kids to the school. Now, the problem we have is sometimes these parents cannot afford to send their kids to the school uh, because of many reasons.
Zin. One
One
is
is the parents have
the
to
parents have
look for a
to
taxi,
look
for
for a
example,
taxi,
to
for
bring the
example,
child.
to bring the child.
So we have many
So we have
factors
many
sometimes.
factors sometimes.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely right. Yeah, there will be some disadvantages for people. Like I
Disadvantages for
said, I just
people.
wanted to make sure
Like I
that
said, I just
you
wanted to
guys
make
are
sure
thinking
that
outside the
you
box.
guys are thinking outside the box.
And it looks like we have an
And
echo. Somebody
looks
may
like we
Okay.
have
have an
two,
echo.
Somebody
two,
has an
another one open, like two of them
Another
open.
one
Maybe it's
open, like two of them open.
two. I'm not sure.
is it you Usman?
It was when Usman came in. That's
Yeah.
when it started. Okay, it's quiet now. So yeah. So
Yes. So
that's a great thing that you
yes.
guys
So
have
now,
those. Uh-huh.
so,
Go ahead.
uh, it was the echo that interrupted me. So these are some of the things we're doing. Earlier, I spoke to Usman and I asked him. I was trying to make findings about how to establish an association in the Gambia what it requires. The reason why is because you have mentioned a very important point. We have disabled kids almost in every community and in every village in the Gambia.
Yep.
I am from North Bank region, uh, and I know and I have seen these things. So
Yep.
now, when all these things have come into place, I have now been trying to connect and bridge these gaps between rural and urban Gambia, so that people that are
So
suffering
the
from these kind
people
of
that
things
are suffering.
in the rural Gambia can also have the access that these people in the urban Gambia have, so that they can have that, equal access to education, to the support that autistic and disabled kids have. So what I'm trying to do is establish an association, connect the school with this association, and see how we can help kids from these areas, from rural Gambia. If we cannot establish a center right now here, because really we haven't started we just started last year, and the school is entirely self-funded. It's not, we didn't have any support from the government. So that is why it is not possible right now to establish another center in rural Gambia. But if this association is able to materialize, then we'll be able to bridge the gap and see how we can help this kid move to the combos and have the education that they also deserve.
Wonderful. Yeah, so you're on the right track. Definitely on the right track. I definitely
Thank
encourage you
you.
guys to continue this and continue to do your best. But this is a great program that you guys have there, and I'm glad
Thank
there's
you.
something there for children with disabilities. Very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Usman,
Thank you,
before I
Usman.
comment,
Before I comment,
am I making an echo?
an echo.
Yes.
So is it me or is it
Is it
because
me
I
or
didn't
is
do
it
it?
because
Ousman, can you mute your you are muted?
Yeah, now we can hear you well.
Okay, something changed again. Maybe Ousman is playing tricks on us. Yeah, but anyway, Ousman, if you want to come in and ask Marre, questions, or you have comments before I come with my final questions. He's coming twice. I think he comes in twice. Maybe we have to.
That was part of the problem. That was the reason. So that's why I said someone is on twice. So Usman will have to log out of
Okay,
one
so
of them.
I just move him out. So how is it now? It's good. Okay, Ousman, can you hear us?
Well, I think what happened is he is frozen on one screen and he opened another one, and the one
Okay,
that
so
he opened, that's the one you
let me
closed.
remove this one and add this one.
And then have
Ousman.
him. Yeah, there you go. Now we can see movement.
Okay, Ousman, you can come in now if you have any question or comment.
Wow, am I coming twice?
Ousman, you can come in now. If you have any question or
Wow,
comment.
am I coming twice?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
you have to log out of one of them. It looks like you logged in twice. That's probably why.
Yeah, hello. Okay, can you hear me, Sam? So let me continue with what I have. So Marre, I just want to find out if you guys do give medication for some of these autistic children, in case they start to misbehave or their conditions start to get worse.
Can you please say that again? You froze at
Is
one
there
point.
any kind of form of medication or kind of form of something that you give them in case their situation start to get worse, or they started to behave certain way?
No, we do not give them any kind of medication. If the child, worst scenario is the child is having a meltdown, the child is angry, or the child is shouting, or the child is crying. You understand? I already mentioned earlier we have the calming room where we take this child. The room is defined in a way that once you take the child there, we have a mattress on the floor, we have teddy bears there, we have lights there that help the child calm down. So that is the worst scenario we have had. The children's having a meltdown. Now, if the child is sick, because these are just human beings like you and I, so we get sick and sometimes they get sick. And if a child has had a diarrhea or a child is vomiting, no, we do not have any medication stored in the school. We call the parents, and the parents take the child to go and see a doctor if they have a fever or something. When they were given medicine, if they're giving medicines at school, the parents come with the medication at school. We have a form, we have a medicine form that we filled. We understand, we find out what is the prescription required for the medicine, what dosage and what time this child should be medicated, and we have a special staff that handle that medication when it is due.
Okay, that's good. All right, so that's very good. Everything is purely therapies and purely training, and creating a conducive environment, a learning environment, you know social environment for them, just so that they can learn and grow.
That's
If
right.
that sounds right to you. Okay.
That sounds
Now,
right.
how long have do you usually have them there? Is there a time limit before they can fully be okay to probably go back home?
Uh, this is not a boarding school, it's a day-to-day school. So they comes in the morning by 8 o'clock in the morning, and full time they stay until 3 o'clock. Now we have some of them, because some of them are not early morning kids, so they come 11:30 until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we have some that comes on hourly sessions. You come and have an hourly session or 2 hour session, and then you go home. So it's not a boarding school, but we try to have a connection with the parents in a way that some of the activities we carry out with these kids at the school, sometimes we advise the parents to maintain that same routine when they are home. This way, it's not like there's no friction in what we are doing. So So far, we have been there with the kids. This is we are almost going towards the end of the first academic year, uh, but it is developmental stages, and then we are looking at their progresses, at the we will see, and how long the parents want them there. We understand that learning is a continuous process, so it is also just a continuous process for them at the moment.
Very good, very good. And then would you say that because there is more attention at the school you guys provide when they need caring, and because there is more the environment is more conducive, that's why these kids are developing compared to being home where the parents probably might not have time, or might not have the what it takes to give them the developmental assistance. Would you say that that probably is the difference here?
I would say we understand the kids and we understand their needs and we respond to their needs. And let's say some of these parents or the parents are not trained in this area. You understand? And if one is not trained in that area, then it becomes difficult to understand how to
Yeah,
handle them. But then we have people that are trained on the area and they understand the needs of the kids and they help them. And as time goes on, the parents see that progress, and the parents also play a major part because what we do with them, for instance, you bring your child and your child cannot feed him or herself. And we're trying to feed this, we're trying to train this child to feed. And we put the child on the table, give the child a spoon and a bowl and say, "Hey, child, let's go, try." And the child is slowly feeding themselves. And the child comes home and you're feeding the child. That is not helping.
that's not
That is
helping.
that is a step forward and a step backward. So that is why whatever you're doing is in line with the parents. We talk to them. We have reports. We have reports of the child's progress. When we were closing this term, the parents have to come and they have to sit with the teacher one on one and they go through all the records of the child for the period that the child was there and the areas that the child needs improvement on and how the parent can help the child at home. So this help us and it complement what we are doing.
Perfect. Yeah, Usman, do you have anything before we wrap it up with?
Wrap it up with. I don't know whether I'm still having the issue of audibility.
No, you are fine
No,
now when you talk.
you are fine now when you
But
talk.
it's like
Ah,
us
okay.
us
But
for
it's
some
like
reason us
us
when we
for some
talk
reason us when we talk,
we get
okay,
repeated twice. But
we
when you
get
talk,
repeated
it's
twice. But when
okay.
you
So
talk,
maybe you
it's
talk and
okay.
then
So
you
maybe
mute.
you talk and then you mute. Okay, no problem. Marre, thank you so very much. And then I think I wanted to ask you one last question because we have another subject matter to discuss within 10 minutes before we elapse. The issue of government support to your school. I don't know how far with your school management and then that of the government, knowing how important this whole program is. How far have you guys gone now with government intervention or government consideration as far as your school is concerned? Please take us through quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Camara. It has been difficult because so far we haven't received the support we need to continue helping these kids. Our recent press conference, awareness conference, we had the Ministry of Business Secondary Education attend, and they have seen the needs. They have seen what we are doing. They have seen and understood that these kids belongs to us. These kids are Gambians. These kids are human beings. These are kids like any other kids who deserve the right to education. Now, we have been struggling with that because there's nothing that pains us more than seeing a parent not being able to bring their child to the school because they do not have the means to pay the child's tuition fee or the child's needs at the school. We have some of them that comes and it breaks our heart to know that they need this so much, they need this service very much, but then there is no support. So we didn't have the support yet. We hope that the government will come and join hands with us so that we can continue impacting the lives that we are doing already. But I'm telling you, we have so many of them that comes and they confess to us that in as much as our child needs this service, we don't know what to do. We cannot pay for the tuition fee. So we are trying to raise that awareness. We are trying to see how we can raise funds and support. We recently gave a full-time tuition fee to one of our students. He had been coming for a session, a 1 hour session in the school. This is a child. I'll put on a smile when I talked about him because this is a child that when he started, he couldn't walk. He didn't know. He struggled to walk. You understand? He need crutches to walk. But after a year working with this child, I think that was the biggest testimony in our conference where we saw the video of the child walking without the support of anybody. But they
Right.
do not have the means to bring the child on, on a full time. But we were able to give the child a full scholarship starting from next year to join us on full time. Because sometimes a parent will choose 1 hour session because that is what they can afford, but that's not what the child needs. The child needs more than 1 hour to develop. But because they don't want the child to miss out at all, they just bring the child for an hour, and it takes longer for us to help that particular child. So this is a problem we are facing at the moment. And we hope we can raise funds and be able to give scholarship. We have some on our list that right now we really want to help to come on board, and we don't know how to do it. But we hope we will be able to. We still need a land, a space, because we have only 4 classrooms, and the number that is coming now is getting bigger. And we are hoping that we'll be able to have the support to get a land and build a center that will definitely suits every child that comes, so that we'll not send them away. Because if we're up to capacity, then there's nothing else we can do. You know what I mean? So this is a problem we have, and this is a challenge we have. We have put into the Ministry of Health. Unfortunately, they didn't attend the conference, but these are people and areas that need to be, concerned about what is happening, because every child needs that service. Every child who is autistic or who has disabilities need the support, but they have not been having it. So we just want to see how we can collaborate and help, and we expect the government to come on board so that we can help these people because they deserve a space in our society.
Thank you so very much, Marre Jallow, Mr. Sawaneh, Mr. Sam Ceesay. I think we can allow Mrs. Marre Jallow to go whilst we conclude the program with the election review. Mr.
Thank
Sawaneh,
you.
over
Thank
to
you,
you now.
Ousmane. Thank you. Thank you, Ousmane. Thank you, Marie. We just let you do your final words, and then definitely we will invite you here again. I mean, this is a great, great area, and I know
Thank
we
you.
haven't gone through all the different autistics, all the different forms of autistic, but we will revisit this again and perhaps come up with from different angle. But your final words.
Yes, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here and to share these information about the school and what we are doing with all of you. I would say thank you to my boss, the CEO and the founder who came to the country, saw the need, responded to it. As I always said, if someone can come from the United States, come to the Gambia, see the needs here, and respond to it, that I don't know what the citizens of this country are waiting for. We should all come together and help, because these people deserve our love, they deserve our support, so that they can also feel part of us. So I will say once again, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And we hope to
Thank
see
you
you
so
there.
much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. We
You're welcome.
appreciate you very much. Keep up the good
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All
Thank
right.
you so very
So
much, Marre. Thank you. We see you again, Marre Jallow.
Thank you, Mr.
Over to
Kamara.
you, Mr. Sawaneh.
Th-
Over to you, Sam Ceesay.
thank you. All right. That
Wonderful.
was great. That was great. Usman, you have to be on mute again. When you're ready to speak, then you speak. So that brings us to our last phase, which is politics. We can go without it. And then in these sessions that we'll be having, sometime we will have our main session and probably touch some current things going on. And as you know, our nation, we are facing, really 2026 going to be a big year. And soon we're going to see a lot of, political parties coming, you know, doing their thing and trying to, grab the spotlight or trying to grab the news of certain things that will help them, propel and survive or perhaps win the election 2026. We have seen what happened in Kiang, with that by election. The results were definitely not favorable to the ruling party, which is MPP. And this one, on the other hand, is different. The ruling party, they gained the upper hand. But again, in our analysis, we have to look at who are they running against with. That is very important. So it appears that they're running against with a candidate who is from the People Progressive Party (PPP), who was defeated. I believe a double. I mean, he was defeated with a large margin. So, what does this mean to our election coming up in 2026? We need to look at this, and again, the country is at stake. We know that all these elections would kind of tell how the dynamics is going in the politics. And even if you don't want to discuss politics, but listen, politics is part of us, and we are part of it. So at some point, we have to realistically talk about the future of our country. So I would like my panelists to look at the half die and give us what they are taking in terms of what is the outcome. Was this a surprise? What does it mean moving forward? And also the dynamics of our elections coming up. Uh, Sam, you have the floor, and Usman can come.
Well, I was going to let Usman come in first since he's on the ground. And what happened in Gambia, he can feed us more information than we can sometimes, but sometimes the people in the diaspora have more information than those on the ground. But I'm going to pass this courtesy to Usman to say something first, and then I'll come in. So
Perfect.
All right.
tell us
Thank
Usman,
you.
about the elections.
Usman,
All right, thank you so very much, Sam Ceesay, and thank you so very much, Mr. Sawaneh. I understand that the echo is still a problem, but moving forward, we understand that yesterday in the evening, the results that Akfos we received from the half die ward in Banjul confirms that the National People's Party won the seat. We just have to understand quick history of the records. That is to say, the seat was occupied by the National People's Party councillor when he traveled to Germany, if my memory could serve me well, and then he tended to not to return back to the country again. That prompted the by-elections, and then the NPP still want to maintain the seat. And of course, I was thinking that the other parties will come in to contest for that seat, but rather unfortunate that they couldn't, or one or two issue or reasons. Then they had to leave it in the hands of NPP, and then of course the People Progressive Party, that is the PPP. At the end of the day, it of course that half die is a stronghold for the NPP, and then of course NPP were so confident that they're going to regain that seat again. I think the questions that others were asking is the issue of having your candidate absconded. He never returned when he traveled, got the opportunity to travel to Europe, and didn't, return back. And then the questions were, do you think we could trust the NPP again with giving us a candidate for that seat again? But when you look at the history of the Gambia, and then how some of our political positions, our political leaders, when they traveled, they tend not to return back. We have seen that not one, not twice. Even when you look at the not so long ago, I think that one must be in Kiang, or in which of the area. One of the chairmen, he went to United States. He stayed, he overstayed, but at the end of the day, he has to come back again. But I think we just have to be a bit responsible, or the issue of our political leadership. Okay, when you are given a leadership, when you are given the role by the people, and remember, you are elected, you are not even nominated. So when people give you that confidence to serve them, we need to serve them with honesty. We need to serve them with a lot of confidence, But when you tend to run away or abscond from your seat, it tells a lot about our political maturity, and it tells a lot about how prepared are we moving forward as a country as well. So these are some of the things. But notwithstanding, I must say congrats to the National People's Party for regaining the seat of the half their ward as a councillor, and congrats to Koli or as the newly elected or new elect of the councillor for that particular ward. I think so far so good. We must say that NPP just got their seat back. It's not a new thing so far, as far as I am concerned. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Usman, for that briefing. Usman gave us an overview of the whole entire election, which is that seat, which is important. That seat belongs to MPP, and their man traveled. Um, I don't know why this person don't want to go back. Whether he doesn't have faith in his own government or on his own party. Maybe he thought that they're gonna lose the 2026 election. So why bother to go back? He knows the inside more than us. If they are celebrating it, okay, they can. I saw Sabali and others celebrating it on the street. Every little victory they will celebrate because again, it is a motivation, it is a drive. But Sam can tell us what he sees this victory as in terms of moving to 2026 because all eyes is on 2026 presidential election. I heard some people are saying it's a do or die. By the way, we also need to touch about that because my father's comment about do or die or he's going on an exile. I think that also is something that's worrisome because it is something that I think discussing our political discourse is something that really red flag to me. If somebody say if MPP lost the election, they're going on exile, and we are not in a dictatorship era, then something is wrong somewhere. That need to be clarified. Something is wrong somewhere because none of us in the Gambia should go in an exile or tomorrow kill the outside if nothing has been done. So I think that is something that Gambian people should focus on the side of my party. But again, any of these things moving forward, like I said, we would be open to discuss it here. We are impartial, so we will look at it and analyze it to the best of our ability. But Sam, what do you think about this half-day victory? And what does it mean?
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh, and thank you, Ousman, for giving us an overview of what happened underground. So thanks for all of that. It is normal, and as we all know, politics is funny, but politics is very interesting. Politics is politics. So people are going to try to play their games to win, and winning in politics, especially the party that had the seat in there before, and their candidate left the country and never returned. So is their seat. If they don't win that seat back, it will be a shame on them, for sure. People are going to look at it that way. It will be a shame on them. So it's normal for the same party to win the same seat, just like how we saw in Kiang, I believe, or so. Is normal to see something like that because the influence is already there. So they really should win it. Now, there are other parts to this. Why do they put so much emphasis to win seats like this? Well, if you look at politics, there's always an influence. These are councilors. You have a councilor that people vote for. That means that person is someone that people have confidence in. But on the side of the political parties, the political party is looking at it as if we put someone there that has influence and wins that election, that means when it's time for general election, we can use that person also to use his influence to get us more people, right? That's what the bottom line is, to get them more people so they can stay in power. So that is the aim of every political party. That you people that you put out there, let them be people that are well liked by the community, so that when it's time for elections, they can join hands with you and go and campaign for your party to win again and stay in power. So that's the bottom line. Now, the other part of it is, why did that other person leave? Why did he leave? Did he take anything with him? And did he take some money with him and things like that? So those are all things that also show that character of that person, depending on what they did before leaving. But why did they leave is a big question that is yet to be answered. Why did they leave? Did they leave because they thought they had an opportunity, they can grab something and run with it and go hide? Because they can't get them once they are out of the country? Or is it because they smell something coming in 2026? They thought this is our best opportunity, our best chance. Let's get out of here before it happens. So it can go either way. So people can look at it from that dynamic also. He wants to get away before the 2026 because he may feel like 2026 they may lose. And if they lose, there'll be a lot of scrutiny. There'll be a lot of accountability and reconciliation and commission of inquiry that will look into all of what they did while they're in power. Or while they were in power. So it can mean a lot of things, and we don't know that until we hear from this person himself, if they are honest to say what exactly motivated them to leave. Some of the things that I would say, though, sometimes people in Gambia that have very good positions in the country and they're doing well there, they leave, they have an opportunity to go overseas, they go overseas, they don't come back. They find opportunities to get a visa using their power and their authority and the position that they're in to get a visa. Once they obtain a visa, they go, without realizing that when you go overseas, it's not like you're going to go there and get a good job like you were doing. That's not going to happen. You're not going to go to overseas and immediately start driving your own car. That's not going to happen. It's not easy now. Travel nowadays is different from travel 25 years ago. Okay, things are different. When they leave, they come to Europe or United States of America. Number one, you're not going to get a job like that easy. Number two, you're going to work like you're nobody else. When you're in Gambia, you're a counselor. You could, no matter who you are, who you were in the Gambia. When you come here, you're just like everybody else. You're just going to be like every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're going to be doing everything for yourself. You're not going to have that driver that used to drive you. You're not going to have that luxury vehicle that you used to drive if you had one. You're not going to have that position and sitting in an office again. Those things, those will be gone. You leave Gambia, you're leaving those behind you. Only very lucky individuals can come and have that kind of opportunity to work in an office or something like that. Otherwise, you'll be on the street hustling and running for the bus, running for the train, and trying to catch a train and go to work and come back if you even have a job. Because getting papers, documentation, proper documents to even get a job is the number one thing that's going to hold you back for a long time before you can even have an opportunity to earn your own money. So people need to look at it from a broader picture. That's why a lot of times people that end up doing that, leaving the Gambia in a very good position to come to Europe or US, the first thing that happens to them is they regret. They regret why they left their position, because all the luxury and all the things that they were used to in Gambia, they're not going to have that here anymore. They don't have that. They're not going to see all of that. So, but anyway, at the end of the day, politics is politics. I think every political party in the Gambia is preparing for 2026 elections. And, everybody wants to win. In politics, no party is going to say, well, I hope I don't win. Everybody wants to win. NPP wants to win to stay in power, to continue their power struggle. All the other political parties are going to think that they're going to win this time and take over this country. So everybody has their own mindset. But at the end of the day, what's good for Gambia? Well, what's good for Gambia is we need to have a president and a government that will move this country forward, and that will stop the corruption, stop the bleeding, stop taking loans that is putting the country in more debt, and things like that, and do the right thing for the country. We know what the right things are. It's just that people have different concepts and mentalities. There are people that will come to office and want to do the right thing. There are people that will come to office to enrich themselves. And once they start enriching themselves, especially once they start getting into corruption, it gets very difficult for them to leave, because when they leave, they're afraid that the investigations that's going to come after them will be terrified. So terrifying. So they tend to stay in power for too long. They want to stay in power because they're afraid when they leave, something is going to happen. That's part of the reason. But at the end of the day, um, congratulations to NPP for winning that seat winning their own seat back in Banjul. So that's a good thing for them. Is another influence added to their influence. Now, I will stop here, and then before I get into the next part, yes, I'll stop here and give you a chance.
Thank you, thank you. Usman, I think in all honesty, uh, this might be the fact that no other party wanna contest there. I think this win is just grabbing what you lost. That's it, nothing else. Because if UDP doesn't did not I mean, if UDP was not there, and other major party and other parties, even DOI or GDC, then what is the point of claiming victory? Because who were you going against with? So I think this is just another number game, adding another number to their numbers that they lost. So no significant at all in the way the thing's gonna go with 2026. And I think like Sam said, it all boils down to what the main people want. If they want good leadership, good leadership, transparency, accountability, and developmental, they need to look at their current existing situation and bring in leaders that can make that happen. We are seeing what is happening in Burkina Faso. I'm not a supporter of military government, but I can understand if that is the way to get us where we need to be. What is the part? What is it? What Why not? Because at this point we need strong minds. Um, strong ideas, people with who are conviction, not for their own pocket, but for the national good of the country. We need a lot of sensitization when it comes to civic education. You see how Ibrahim Tarawale, was able to bring all these ideas that Thomas Sankara started and started to implement them, and within 3 years or so, his country is on another level. And now everybody is getting awakened in the West, and everything making noises, trying to bring the man down. But they don't know the man has flew. He flew away from them, because if they are trying to catch him now, somebody who already fled, you are just going behind the dust that he put behind. So I am very happy in this kind of leadership to be implemented in the Gambia. I don't know why our leaders don't do it, because I think perhaps they are so afraid, and secondly, they want to please everyone, and thirdly, they were so corrupt. So if we can eliminate all of that, you know, pleasing everyone, being corrupt, not being afraid, and then putting your country first, we can achieve a lot as leaders in the country and in the Gambia. So I think moving forward with the election, we will just need to look at what is going on with the country and analyze it to the best of our ability for our audience. But again, we are all in this. You cannot leave politics out of your discussion. Otherwise, when we do that, nobody is getting sensitized, and people are gonna be making the wrong decisions. But I let Usman comes, and we can close our discussion with Sam. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Sawaneh. I think it will be a bit unfortunate some point, especially on the issue of I'm not sure the NPP people or the supporters of the NPP will agree to say it was between the NPP and that of the PPP, because we have seen an endorsement by the other political parties, like the other opposition parties that have endorsed the PPP. Okay. Now, but what is essential? It will, as you suggested, it will be rather unfortunate for the NPP if they didn't actually regain the seat, just like what happened in Masembe. And then when you listen to some of the ruling party supporters, they said the seat belongs to the United Democratic Party. So if they regain it again, that means they got their seat back. But even if they got their seat back, we this is all about politics for you. Is elections, and election is about victory. Whether you were the one there or not, what is essential is that you just need to get the victory. So if you don't have the victory, perhaps you can come with your excuses. We will understand that. But at the latter part of the whole thing, we want someone that will come in, and that's why you contested, because you want to, emerge as victorious. But if you didn't also get that, then we understand. But essentially, elections about victory, and when victory didn't come to your side, then we understand that you have to try, better luck next time, and we move forward. So I think the win for the NPP in the half die is a massive boost for them moving forward into the 2026 elections, because that only shows their support in Banjul in half die. Because when you look at the 2021 elections, the NPP won in Banjul, massively. Okay, so it's like the people of Banjul are they are actually behind the NPP. What the factor behind that, I couldn't basically outline that. But one thing I can tell is, as far as the 2021 election is concerned, and until today, we can only confirm that the NPP has a very strong hold in Banjul. I think that's, in terms of statistics, that really tells about that. All right, thank you so very much, Sam Ceesay and Mr. Sawaneh. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up now. But, I mean, I can't. I wanna disagree, but I will still stay in my lane and not to I disagree too much. Victory is victory. That's correct. What I noticed that is that MPP might be getting a stronghold in the Banjul. Of course, they should, because the presidency is just around the corner, and he has invested, some stuff in there. So, of course, that's not a surprise. But what is more important here is that this is a local election, and local election at this level, it's depend on the candidacy, depend on other stuff. Endorsements alone, I mean, endorsement is different from me running. Me endorsing Usman and me going in the ring is totally different, right? So it's a totally different ball game. So I think, the wrestling was the field was not complicated as much or competitive like that. So I think that still give MPP a very leeway for them to have a landslide victory. But again, Sam, you close us up. Definitely. Thank you so much, Usman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Thank you, Ousman. So, at the end of the day, I wanted to say something on the other part, which is uh, why would other parties back out and support a candidate? There's always a political reason behind this, and they call them strategies. They are strategies. Sometimes political parties and politicians will strategize certain things. For example, UDP could have backed out and support PPP to be there for a couple of reasons. Because UDP would have been very competitive there, but PPP has a strong hold in Banjul as well. So they wanted to support them. And part of the reason why political parties will support each other in certain areas is because if they support a candidate and not stand with them, they support a candidate to win in an election there, that belongs to another party. Chances are, if they win elections in 2026 and go to cabinet, and they want to hold the parliament as well, they want to be able to see that this other party that they supported here would also support their agenda if they want to pass a bipartisan bill, because
Yeah,
you can have parliamentarians from one party supporting this other party's members of parliament on a bill, so that they can get the majority vote to pass the bill. And that is still, again, political strategy. So there's nothing wrong with that. We've seen that happen all over. So, but it's interesting. But like we all talked about, we will have to wait and see how 2026 comes out. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Yep.
to
Thank
all
you. Yep.
viewers. Definitely. We
All
catch
right.
up next week. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right.